Hello, all, and welcome to Dressed to the Nines, a twisted narrative actual play in the world of Blades in the Dark. I'm Kristian, and I'll be watching over the proceedings tonight. We're also joined by our regular cast of ne'er-do-wells. So, could you please introduce yourselves and the characters you'll be playing tonight, starting with Sarah.
Hi everyone. So yes, I'm going to be reprising the role of Grimlyn. And Grimlyn, I realised the other day actually, Grimlyn, clothing-wise, reminds me a little bit of Mary Poppins, if Mary Poppins had seen better days. But don't let that fool you because she definitely isn't Mary Poppins. But she does have a long skirt, a tight waistcoat, and a shawl that she wears around her shoulders, and has a tatty sort of straw boater kind of hat. But unlike Mary Poppins, she has long dark hair that she has in a simple plait down her back.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Next, Kyle.
Greetings and salutations, one and all. My name's Kyle, and tonight I'll be playing Avis, or more commonly known Vixen. She stands around 5'8", has sharp piercing blue eyes with dirty blonde hair, often tucked up into a flat cap, and tends to wear a long, well looked after, but certainly seen better days waistcoat.
Lovely. Lovely. Thank you very much. Next, Rachel.
Hi, yep. So I'm going to be once again playing Jellybean, who is the not so innocent little child member of the gang. She looks very sweet and isn't so much, but she also looks very rich, which she is. And so she wears very opulent little dresses, velvets and lace, and has long blonde hair in ringlets, and is, very young, but also armed with a nice sharp knife.
Very good. And finally, Andy.
Hey there. I'll be playing Barkin Larkin tonight. Once again, really pleased to get into him. He's a occultist of sorts, but he's seen too much and spent too much time living on the streets, and now considers himself more animal than man. Dressed in a long, dirty coat, greasy, shoulder-length hair. There is candle wax covering his coat that kind of looks like scabs breaking off. Fingerless gloves, and his fingertips are stained black with ink and tobacco. He's not always in his own right mind.
Very good. Very good. Well, this is your crew. This is our crew that we have been following for the last 8 adventures. However, for the 9th one tonight, well, Duskfall itself is a city of many factions, crews, both legal and illegal, secret societies, clubs, groups, gatherings, gangs. Each of these factions in Duskfall is vying for status, for whatever reason that brought them together. The Nameless Gang, your gang, are together out of their allegiance, at least to start with, to Auntie Helen, who currently resides as a vampire in the damp basement of the Apollo Theatre that you have made your base. The biggest shows of status in Duskfall is turf, expansion, members, allies. Turf. All of these things cement your legitimacy. They're the beginnings of you creating your legacy. And they are the things that allow you to sleep with only one eye open at what passes for night in Duskfall. Turf and allies are the most important things you could have as a gang. And so that is where we find ourselves tonight, after you all escaping from the bizarre prison that you were trapped in by Mr. Lazarus. You find yourselves several nights later in the theatre with your loyal helper, Sark, gathering you all together with his arms folded, over a table that he's put on the stage and going, "Well, I think it's been a little while now. We need to make more of a mark or do something. We need to expand. That would be my recommendation for you. There's a number of different ways we could expand if you wish to gather more turf or allies. Well, one, we are a group of criminals. So let's not beat about the bush. We sometimes need to dispose of things and get coin for them. In that case, we need a fence and maybe a spirit dealer as well. I've got someone in my back pocket for that. I may have mentioned this before. It also looks like our dead drop has been compromised thanks to Mr. Lazarus of the Eclectic Six, which means we probably want a new dead drop. Or we could go and get some turf. I know a nice place. It's currently controlled by someone else, but I think we could muscle our way in there, and it'd be a really good place for us to gather information, especially if we are going to keep getting bothered by the Eclectic Six. We need to protect ourselves, but we need to make sure we're in a great position to listen out for them, because they're going to have agents throughout the city as well. I think so should we. But, well, it's up to you folks. If there's something else you wish to follow up on, you need to let me know. Otherwise, I reckon our next move is either getting some turf, getting a new covert drop, or getting a loyal fence. What do you reckon?
I like
How's
the
the
sound.
existing turf? Sorry.
You go first.
How's our existing? We took the theatre. Is that consolidated?
Oh yeah. This is it's as secure as it can be. I mean, the covert drop, the message that was left for you was left away from this place, but well, I mean, no one's coming and going in and out of it. So if you want to add
just
more,
checking before we expand that we have control of what we have.
yeah, I mean, more members of the gang would be useful, but I mean, at the moment, we're a bunch of nobodies.
Barkin, what did you think?
Pack is good. More bodies. The bigger the pack, the stronger.
Well,
Is that in terms of like fences or actual
No, more bodies.
gang?
We want to get more people. People we can trust.
Yeah, well,
People
that's the
that
tricky part.
are family.
You want to find like-minded individuals.
That's where I would go, but again, I'm social. Or rather, I like the company of like-minded people. Whereas the rest of you, well, yeah, not so much, eh? Shadows
I
in
very
the
much
night.
enjoy like-minded people, Barkin.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that some of your fancy folk who come down for crumpets and tea will really fit in down here.
Well, indeed.
I say you're more.
And anyway, that would ruin the fun, really.
I say you're more like me than you are your real family.
Jellybean's trying to weigh up. On the one hand, her parents. On the other hand, Barkin, like, neither ideal.
So I know that I'm different to the three of you. It's that much is sure, But I said my piece. Now we'll do whatever you decide you want to do.
We all have strengths. That's why we work so well together.
Indeed.
Well, what do you reckon? What do you reckon, Grimlyn? Vixen? Do you want to try and find some like-minded individuals?
Yeah, I could go for that. I definitely
Right.
think we need to be aware that, you know, the Eclectic Six will have their, I don't know, feelers out.
We need to make sure we don't pick up one of their spies or something.
We
I've
could
got a
try
plan.
to expand in a way that would allow us to keep an eye on them. I'd quite like that, to know what they're doing. Keep tabs,
Oh.
You see,
mess with their plans.
from what happened last time, I don't think he's recruiting people that would be like us. He's changing their minds. He thinks he's got the coin, the influence, the power to do whatever he likes. He's not got street folk. We don't have to worry about that. Of the others, though, of course, there are 6 of them. There might be someone amongst them that is maybe a little more not straight edged, as it were. But if that's the case, then that'll be good, won't it? Because that means, unlike us, they're not all of the same mind. That puts them at odds, something that we can leverage at some other point.
We don't know how much he's acting independently on things like what he was doing with us.
Machine.
But speak your minds. It doesn't have to be that we get more numbers.
I quite like the idea of having some more turf, keeping this as our very central, secure location, and expanding once we have some other area that we could take people to. But in the event it's compromised, we have this place.
Well, sounds like we might be able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Certainly on recruitment and on gaining turf. Because you see, I have heard about a place. It's a nearby tavern. It's called the Old Reliable. It's a great piece of turf. Over in Crowsfoot. So not the best area of the city. But it does have another faction control on it at the moment. But I happen to know that the people working there and the locals don't really like that this upstart has come in and, well, taken control of this tavern. The bloke that's currently got it, well, the gang, is the gang of Ulf Ironborn, Skovlander. And for those of you that don't know, Skovlan is one of the shattered isles that make up the world. Skovlan is a ragged land of cold mountains and rough tundra in the far northwest. Not massively far away from Duskbolt, but far enough. You are currently on the island of Akaros, which is, a land of dark, petrified forest and rocky hills, at least outside of the Ghost Field. So, this Ulf Ironborn, you, as a Skovlander, you know to not be from round here. Sark continues. Look, if you can get Ulf Ironborn out of the Old Reliable, I'm sure the landlord, landlady, would be really, really happy to swear their allegiance to you. Obviously, provided you provide some protection. But as I say, the locals have no love for Ulf Ironborn.
Do you think he's someone we would recruit?
Ulf? Oh, no. God, Ulf Ironborn's the sort of person I like to see at the end of your stiletto. He's a nasty piece of work, is
If
Ulf.
we can lower him back down to that mine, I guess we could put him on the end of this stiletto. That would be a useful place to secure.
Ulf is small time at the moment. He's only really just arrived on the scene. But he's making a name for himself, making waves. There's them out there that what doesn't like him.
Who doesn't like him? Could we secure an alliance by perhaps doing a favour?
Oh, you'll have to find that one out, I'm afraid. I don't know off the top of my head. There's bound to be some people out there that need to know.
The pub people might know.
But sounds like that could be a goer. So if you're happy, I'll, start getting your gear together and helping you prepare.
Sounds
So
good.
it sounds like you're going for the old reliable. So as we are in Blades in the Dark, we go as quickly as we can to making the plan, going to the engagement and just jumping straight in there without thinking, because planning is for flashbacks and devil's bargains. Oh, those tasty devil's bargains. So, as usual, we go, as I say, there's one of the numerous different ways to plan an engagement. So there are 6 different ways: assault, deception, stealth, occult, social, and transport. If you choose an assault plan, you need to do violence to a target, and I need to know the point of attack. Deception, lure, trick, manipulate. I need the point of deception. Stealth, trespass unseen. I need the point of infiltration. Occult, engage a supernatural power, and I need the arcane method. Social, negotiate, bargain, or persuade. I need the social connection. Transport, carry cargo or people through danger. I need the route and the means. So decide which plan type you want to go with. You can gather information if you wish. And remember, you have the unfortunate many who are your connection, who can give you +1 to gather information rolls. So yes, think about and discuss which one of those you wish to do, and any information you wish to gather, please let me know.
I am leaning towards a social engagement, trying to gather information on a rival gang that doesn't like them muscling in on the turf. Perhaps an agreement: if we can incapacitate him, drag him out, they'll get rid of him.
Well, I've heard about Crow's Foot. I think I have a potential of a plan from what we've just been told about his character. So I think social could be right. Correct me if I'm wrong. I look at Sark here, but I believe in Crow's Foot there's an interesting location called Tangletown.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
Now, Tangletown is interesting. I like it there. It's considered neutral ground. Well, it was when I used to go there. Amongst the street gangs of Crow's Foot, no violence at all is allowed there. But I reckon that with cunning words and your tricks, you could probably get this rather hot-headed individual to potentially, well, do some violence.
You want me to do that?
No, I'm just talking to him. No, I'm just making sure that I'm right about Tangletown still.
Yeah, no, I mean, Tangletown, well, used to be an old Leviathan hunter ship, partially sunk in the river, but it's collected a flotilla of tiny watercraft around it, all kind of leashed together into a floating neighbourhood on the river. It is considered, as you say, neutral ground among the streets of Crowsfoot. No violence is allowed there.
So I don't know, sort of Trixie, Drugsy, get him across there for some kind of meeting. I've heard that he's this Ulf is hot-headed, and is we should be able to get him. I don't know what the results of doing violence is there, but I'm sure it's no good, and it's something that we could perhaps leverage, rallying us against him, and seeing him out of Crow's Foot or out of Duskville. It's only an idea, but I agree with you, Vixen. I think social is the way to go here.
Does it allow violence and self-defense?
Well, I mean, is there honour among thieves? No. But what there is a sense of righteous fury, even if it's mock righteous fury. So if you do violence there, violence could in theory be done back to you once you've been escorted out of Tangletown.
So it could be quite dangerous if he decides to attack at us.
Oh, if he could be restrained, don't get me wrong. Everyone wants to keep the peace in Tangletown. So if anyone starts sparking off, they're gonna get dealt with. They just won't get violenced. Not until they're outside.
No, I like the idea. I mean, I agree with Vixen. If we're wanting to expand, then making alliances, or at least finding out more about the others out there, is a good move, and it's easier than dealing with this man ourselves. And as Barkin says, this sounds like an interesting location if we can lure him there and we can get him to act as we need, which I'm sure there are ways.
Perhaps we could seek out to hire him, offer a couple of coin, pick out a target in Tangletown. Though that could come back on us.
I don't know. I mean, we don't really need to make the plans now. We just need to decide roughly, ballpark, about what we're going to do. I just thought I'd throw that there as a potential if we did want to do social. What about you, Grimlyn? Any thoughts?
Sorry, I got a bit distracted thinking about how I could incite him to violence while spiking a bottle of wine while you were talking about that. So, yeah, sure.
I mean, that sounds good. I was hoping.
I do have a friend who's a drug dealer, apparently. Although I know you've obviously got your friend in the pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, I mean, either way, or both. I mean,
So we step ever closer towards the social plan. So what do you reckon, team? What do you think? What do you want to go with?
Can we gather information on the gangs that are particularly against him through the unfortunate many?
Certainly can. So, what skill do you think you'd want to use, Vixen?
Pull up skills. So I'm guessing.
And you'll get an extra D6 on this.
So I suppose hunt, discovering locations and finding the targets that we're looking for, or possibly sway for the unfortunate many.
Which one do you think you want to use?
Seems like we're hunting these people down, so I'll go with that.
Okay, very good. So roll me your hunt, please, and give me an extra D6 thanks to the unfortunate many. We have a 1, a 6, and a 2. So, as explained many times before now, a 1, 2, 3 is a failure, a 4 and a 5 is a success with a complication, and a 6 is an outright success, and that means it's an outright success. So, the unfortunate many are very good at giving you the information quickly as possible. You find out that there are 3 different factions, as it were, that dislike Ulf Ironborn. One are the citizens of Coleridge. The other are the citizens of Crowsfoot. And finally, another group that really doesn't like Ulf Ironborn is the Billhooks. Now, the Billhooks are one of the other many gangs of
I
Doscol.
don't like those people.
Well, let's have a quick look. So, just to give you a quick description of the Billhooks, they are kind of former butchers, really. They have a bloody reputation, leaving butchered corpses of their victims strewn about in grisly display. Many wonder why the Bluecoats turn a blind eye to their savagery. They're a tough gang of thugs who prefer hatchets, meat hooks, and pole arms. They are a tier 2 faction, which means they are higher in the pecking order than you are. However, I don't believe you've angered them yet. In fact, you haven't angered the Billhooks yet. No. You only really have angered the lost boys and girls of Doskvol and the Vultures. But you've made friends with the Foghounds, and I've got here that you've made friends a little bit with the Bluecoats. Get you. But yes, the Billhooks are definitely not a fan of Ulf Ironborn.
I'm not sure about them. I've heard that, well, I mean, they have a bad reputation, as you expect, but they do like pitting animals against each other, fighting pits and the like.
Ghastly.
It's terrible. But that said, we want turf. The citizens, though, are fine, both of Crowsfoot and Coleridge. I mean, if we get a reputation for getting rid of him, having them all as allies, or at least looking upon us kindly, is no bad thing, is it not?
Yeah. They might be safer to deal with than a big established group like the Billhooks.
Perhaps go to the Billhooks, offer to try and get rid of him for a bit of favour. If we manage to get rid of him, we may gain a little bit of reputation with the other two, but I'd rather have such crude criminals like us rather than dislike us.
Right. Okay.
For
I
now.
guess we could always put word out if we succeed that, well, we might have had a hand in this afterwards if we don't want to involve them directly.
Did our gather information give us any information about the Billhooks, or is there any rumours about who's in charge?
Well, with a gang like the Billhooks, you might know this information already, but your gather information will tell you. So, the Billhooks are their leader is a person called Tarvel. He's currently in prison at the moment, in the Iron Hook prison. But his sister, Erin, is currently running the gang in his stead. She is confident, deadly, and ambitious. Another sort of big player in the gang is a guy called Coran, Coran, or Coran. Yeah, those are the big players at the moment that kind of lead the gang. Coran is Tarvel's son.
Okay. Okay, well, I mean, where do you want to go then? Do you want to just do this, and then kind of sort of contact them, or do you want to get these, or notify these that we're trying to do this anyway?
I quite like the relationship building of we've heard these are a pain in your foot. Let's just handle this small nuisance, and maybe one day you can return the favour.
Okay.
It would be good
So,
to talk to the pub people as well, I think, about like his habits, maybe.
I think that's our point of entry, isn't it? A pub's
Oh,
a
is that-
pub.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. If we're trying to lure him to somewhere else, then I don't know if the actual heist is going to happen there. Or...
well, think about your plan. I interject to the GM. Think about the social aspect of the plan, because we're with the engagement, we go straight to the first bit of action you get to. So if it's social, what do you want the social? What do you want the sort of the social situation to be? What's that first step? Where can you see yourselves going? We can, as I say, always do the meeting of the other factions and getting their involvement in flashback, which will take stress for.
Say the social interaction that I'd like to see is perhaps him coming to there after we've sort of circulating rumours of his poor ability to do anything, sort of already perhaps angered, coming to find out who is spreading these rumours.
Coming to Tangletown.
Yes, where we'll potentially try and circulate a rumour that that's where we've been spreading it.
Sounds good.
Very good. I mean, are you hoping to get the billhooks on side?
I'd like that, but I'm curious to hear what the others are. I can be aware that such a thing may not be as desirable.
I'll go with the rest of you in this.
I think my only concern would be whether or not if they get involved, then they'll want the turf. Because we want the turf, right? We want the pub. If they get involved and they get involved in the shenanigans when he's taken out of Tangletown, then they might go, well, we take the credit, we're bigger than you. Etc.
Okay, well then we
I'm
can
just, you know,
yeah, you certainly sound like the kind of gang that would do that kind of thing. So should we leave it with just making it known that we did it post job? Less consequences if we fail to.
that would be my preference, but I'm happy if everyone else thinks. Jellybean, you haven't said anything yet about what you think.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, these billhooks, they sound interesting. They're dangerous, but they have power and large weapons, so we can try and make contact with them.
Before we go in?
Yes, it would be interesting to see their thoughts on the matter.
Okay.
But collective decision.
Okay, well, let's just do what we normally do. Have a vote on it. Billhooks first or billhooks second? Who wants to do the billhooks first? I think Jellybean said yes. Either Grimlyn or Vixen.
I'm concerned about Grimlyn's point now. I think second, then we also have a bit of credibility.
Okay.
I mean, if it helps you, I could argue it the other way that, if we don't let them know ahead of time that we're going to get involved in something, they might take offense to the fact that we hadn't thought about involving them, or at least letting them have the courtesy of that information ahead of time. Does that help? I don't know.
Oh, I hate democracies. All we do is sit around
We need to
talking.
go anyway.
Sark goes,
Shank someone.
it looks courtesy. And he kind of chuckles to himself, walking around with a big barrel of ale.
So what do you want to do? Grimlyn, are you changing your mind, changing your vote?
No, I'm still with after. I feel like,
Right, okay,
yeah,
so
I think they just try and pull the rug out from under us, and they've got more pointy sticks than we do.
so Jellybean is for, you're for after. Vixen,
After.
after. It's 2 for after, 1 for that. I don't get a vote. So let's just do that.
Cool. So
I mean,
you
you do.
I do,
You get
but
a
if
vote.
I vote it with Jellybean, we'll be here for the next 3 days. So if I don't have a vote, it means it's sorted.
So you have the idea of a social plan. You want to try and get Ulf Ironborn himself to Tangletown and to try and get him to do some violence, to get him to turn up all angry already. And you mentioned a slandering campaign. So that sounds like your social plan, if that's what I'm getting from you.
Yeah, I mean, if everybody's okay with that, sounds perfect, really.
And just for my reference, you want him in Tangletown, and then from there, do you want to direct him to a certain location in Tangletown? Where do you want these rumors to have started from?
Any particular, I guess. We want a fairly busy street. We want this to be quite public, I believe.
Okay. Well, the busiest sort of thoroughfare is called Puddle Lane. It's one of those ironic named streets because it is the tallest of all the connected roads in Tangletown, as most of them do have not just puddles, they're just sodden wood. But this is a very tall sort of structure that connects two of the larger ships that have been tied together here. The big Leviathan Hunter and another one. So Puddle Lane, there's lots of shops there and various establishments, and that's loose terms for what they are. Nothing more than shacks, really. So, good stuff. So then, we will go to the engagement roll. So you always get 1d6 for pure luck. So currently you have 1. Is this operation particularly bold or daring?
I think so. We're doing it in the open.
And you're doing it in what is going to be hostile territory, or very hostile territory if you get it wrong. Is it overly complex or contingent on many factors? No. Does it expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them when they're weakest? Well,
I think
do you
it
think?
does. I think we can manipulate this. He sounds like
we
he's a
drug
very
him up
angry
front.
gentleman. Anyway,
Yeah.
So, can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation?
So possibly if we're going down some kind of drugging route. And we are getting information from the unmentioned ones.
can I
Okay.
just clarify sort of one point with the bill hooks?
Yep.
Confident, deadly, ambitious. I mean, we could 2 birds with 1 stone and have the social having the bill hooks and Ulf thinking they have slandered each other and have them fight it out.
Yeah. As long as
It's
it doesn't
only a
come back on you.
suggestion. Well, if it comes back on us, it comes back on us, doesn't it? But they don't like each other.
So are they smart
How do we
enough?
get the turf out from under them?
Sorry, I don't.
Oh, we want their turf. We don't really care about them, right? So if they're fighting it out, how do we make sure we get the turf when the bill hooks are finished with him?
Well, we make sure the bill hooks win.
Yeah, but then they'll just claim the turf. That's what I'd do.
Okay, then. I just thought them having an obvious individual to be angry at would have been useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question, I guess. Like, if the end goal is that we think we need to secure the turf after he's dealt with, whether we involve the bill hooks or not, someone's gonna.
I'm not
That's gonna
saying.
be.
Yeah, I'm not saying we tell the bill hooks that we've set this up. I say we set them up. But
Yeah.
sorry, I interrupted with your thing.
Well, you still have 3 dice. So, any enemies or rivals interfering in the operation? Always. Any other elements we want to consider here? Don't think so. I think we have 2d6 for your engagement roll to try and get Ulf angry and into Tangletown. So let's see how this goes. Pair of 3s. Well, that's not good. So we go straight to the action. You have been putting about that Ulf Ironborn, well, he doesn't belong in Doskvol. His gang is weak. His gang is terrible. His gang smells bad. All the things a gang leader doesn't want to hear. His gang can go do on. They're never going to be as impressive as this gang or this gang or this gang. The blue coats know something about them, that sort of thing. The rumours have been put about both by yourselves and by the unfortunate many. Ulf Ironborn is heading towards Tangletown. You get the message from from the unfortunate many saying that he's on his way. He also has a contingent of some of his guard with him, some of his gang with him. No one from the old reliable. It looks like all the people that are currently hanging around there are still there. You've been reliably told that there are a number of his gang members in the old reliable at the moment, so they've stayed put. But he's taken some of his loyal lieutenants with him to this puddle lane in Tangletown. So that is where we open. Would you be following him? Would you be heading there immediately so you can orchestrate things from the shadows? Or would you be trying something else?
I think I would be in Puddle Lane. I don't know about the rest of the crew.
You want to be nearby, I guess.
I'm leaning towards being in Puddle Lane, potentially already being set up, sipping a coffee and noticeably even be spreading these rumours.
Yeah.
Gonna have to draw his ire somehow.
Yeah.
Bold
guess-
move.
Will I stand out too much if I'm just drinking coffee in this dump?
In your current clothes, yes. If you were to dress down, maybe not.
Okay. If we want to all stick together, then I'll do that. I will.
And so this flotilla is impressive, very impressive. There are electric lamps suspended as kind of street lights. These from kind of pole to pole that holds up these various docks and bits of board that have been lashed together. It is a real maze of these old ships, and you go from one boat to another boat to another boat to another boat, and each boat's got these little stalls or little tents or houses or shacks that are being built. It's all things built on top of other things and all things lashed together temporarily. It's an amazement of architecture that it all hangs together. You have a feeling that if you pull one of these like an ore out of place that's been used as a load bearing ore, the whole place is going to come crashing down around you. There are brothels, there are taverns, there are coffee shops, there are black market boutiques. This place is a place to be for the underworld because it's safe. You see that there are various enforcers of various different gangs walking around, confidently strutting around, acting as almost like a de facto police force. The blue coats, they don't come here. The grey cloaks, they do come here because they're a gang. But they're a gang like any other here, patrolling to make sure this place is safe. No one really likes each other here, but, well, they keep the peace because here the peace has to be kept. You see, as you're walking through this place, there's a bit of a fight going on. There's a couple of gang members that are starting a fight, in which case you see other members of gangs in different colours grab them and throw them into the water. You know that probably means death for them. And they're absolutely right. It's absolutely right, as moments later you hear the bong of the bell and you hear the call of the raven as, well, the spirit wardens are going to be on their way for these two. Getting to Puddle Lane, it is just like the others. There are shacks, there are various drinking establishments, and you find yourselves in what passes for a coffee shop, which is no more than a large shack with a large pot of bubbling brown liquid that is passing for coffee on the go. It is thick, it is disgusting, it is life-giving for those that love coffee. You could almost eat it with a spoon, it's that thick. The little shack you're in is called the Tipping Ship. You see a man, a giant of a man with a long sort of blonde moustache and long blonde hair that is slightly matted and plaited at the back. He's wearing almost furs, really. His arms are exposed, big, muscular arms. And he's walking along with other gentlemen that look very similar. He was walking past the coffee shop, and you hear him say, "Be on the lookout. Somebody wanted me to come here. So we need to find out who that is. And when we do, we make them disappear." "Yes, boss. Yes, boss. You," he says to one of his loyal lieutenants, "you stay with me. We're gonna find these people. And when we do, they're gonna get it." And they stalk off. Over to you.
Well, half done now. Half done. All we need to do is turn the temperature up a little bit. Grimlyn, did you bring some of that wine?
Yeah, of course. Well, to be fair, I asked what their favourite drink was at the bar before we came so that I could make sure that we had something super appropriate.
Well, you are aware that Ulf Ironborn, when he's in the Old Reliable, drinks nothing but mead. Mushroom mead. It's best you don't think about it.
Yeah. I mean, the approach she would take was that it would be a sealed bottle that she would inject into so that it doesn't look like it's been tampered with.
So, this sounds like a flashback that you're tampering with a bottle of mead.
It does, doesn't it?
Wonderful. Well, I'd like you to give me a roll to see how well you do with this.
Okay.
It's only going to be a one stress flashback, but yes,
Okay.
you can have a bottle of doctored mead, doctored mushroom mead. It's a
Wow.
lively one. It's bubbling already, even with the cork in it.
Don't even want to think about it. Wrong. Okay, so what kind of are they corked? That kind of bottle?
Yeah, it's kind of corked with a it's just sort of corked with a seal, a wax seal.
Yeah, so I guess that's probably more of a finesse kind of thing. Yeah,
Mhm.
to do that without it being obvious.
Very good. Yep. So give me a finesse roll, please.
My best skill, but let's see.
Okay.
Oh.
You doctor the bottle as best you can. You are from a controlled position here, so I'm not going to say you failed to doctor it. I am going to say that it's not sealed. So it's essentially obvious that it's potentially obvious that it's been opened. He will obviously have to notice that, but yeah. So you have a doctored bottle of mead that potentially could do it, but it's anyone seeing it can see there's no seal.
I could try and persuade him to have it. Like, if he goes into a barrel-based something and be the one giving him it, I'm a bit more unsuspicious, potentially. And I've got good sway.
Could you even pretend to be like staff?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm just such a fan. No, yes.
This is so much more civilized than I was expecting. I was just going to start off a lovely rumour that he'd brought something in that was going all around the gangs due to the brothel we visited.
And we can do that as well. The more that we've got,
More the merrier.
more the merrier.
Once he's drugged, then we start flashbacking that we've got all the other gangs turning up. Keep the show.
Rather, mostly here. That's the great thing about this location.
Yes, you see representatives of most of the city's gangs here, and some that you don't recognise as well. So as you are, as you want to try and administer this drink to him, then Jellybean, he's just kind of wandered off down Puddle Lane. So you're unaware of where he's gone to. He might not even be in a tavern at the moment. So, what's your next step, folks?
Well, we need to find him again, I guess.
Yeah. Is that the first thing? I think trailing him is good anyway. Who's the best to pick up the trail?
I know, Vixen, you've got the...
Yeah, you're a hunter.
I can give it a go.
Okay. So, what are you rolling? You're rolling hunt to try and track him down.
Yep. Let's go see how we get on. Okay, 2d6. Fail.
Yes. So with a 2 and a 3, you leave the tipping ship, the little coffee shack you're in at the moment. But unfortunately, it's actually quite difficult to find him, despite the fact that he's a big fella. There are lots of big people around, and as you go towards the main ship, the old Leviathan Hunter, that's where it's at its busiest. That's where the biggest tavern is. And unfortunately, you don't know if he's gone in there. You don't know if he's walked anywhere else. This is a big place, and the trail feels like at the moment it's gone quite cold. And like with a lot of these things, if you ask people, "Where's Ulf Ironborn?" they'll go, "Oh, no, they don't know an Ulf Ironborn."
Okay.
Maybe we need to get him attracted into somewhere specific then. But
Well, I'm still quite happy to go into a nice large bar and start having a conversation with various different patrons.
yeah. Like let it spread out from there, that in a way that he might come here because things are happening.
Perhaps you can be nearby when they hear he's coming. You can run up to him, perhaps tell him yourself. Say you want to be part of the gang. You even bought him a gift as he's storming over.
Ooh, could do. I think if we start with your idea, we find a good bar, and you start doing the thing. I'll lurk outside and see if it's either I catch him outside or if it looks like he is going to go in and just have a drink, maybe.
Okay.
And then I don't know, like what everyone else is going to do. Go in and drink with Vixen, I guess.
So
I think Grimlyn would be quite happy to maybe kind of be involved in a bit of a spread of a rumour, so pull out some other random bottle of alcohol she just happened to bring with her, and kind of just spread some of those salacious rumours, and kind of imply, oh, I just saw so and so, walking by. Did you hear that?
Very good. Well, we'll deal with that one first then. I actually forgot to ask you for your load. So if you just quickly let me know now what you're doing load-wise. So we'll start with you, Grimlyn.
I'm going to go normal.
Medium. Vixen.
Medium.
Jellybean.
Yep, normal.
And dare I ask,
Heavy.
Barkin, Larkin, heavy. Love it. Yeah, as you walk down these various things, they creak and groan under the weight of Barkin, Larkin, and whatever thing he's got going on this time.
Two like big bags.
Grimlyn, you are going to be going around with a bottle of alcohol. So tick off a box of load, please, because you've got to bring that with you. But what are you going to do? What are you going to be saying? What are you going to be spreading?
I'm going to say that I'm going to work on kind of what Vixen had been saying about him having some horrible kind of disease. Like you want to watch out for him. I hear it's really contagious, basically. And it doesn't just, that it's more contagious than just how he got it.
Yeah.
And the fact that, you want to watch out if you deal with him, and don't shake his hand.
Okay.
That kind of stuff.
Very good. Very,
I knew a
very
guy
good.
who shook his hand, and the next day he was in the canal, kind of, whatever.
Okay. Okay.
We're going big or going home, I think.
I'm writing that down. Kristian remembers this. So, I love it. So what skill are you going to use? Now, remember, you can push yourself. So you take 2 stress to have an extra D6. Or I am more than happy to offer you a devil's bargain.
Is this our joint sort of role for both spreading the rumours?
If you want to help, you can take a stress so that Grimlyn can have an extra D6 on whatever you choose. But yes, which skill would you like to roll?
I think it fits with Sway. Again, not
sounds-
Gremlin's best skill, but...
Well, you have an extra D6, but also remember that you can push yourself for 2 stress to get 1 extra D6. And, as I said, I could offer you a devil's bargain.
Oh, I haven't done a devil's bargain for ages. Let's do one of those.
So, I will offer you an extra D6, but people are going to remember that it was you that said it.
Under the pot.
So,
Whatever. Yeah, okay.
okay.
Right. So remind me what a devil's bargain does.
Gives you an extra D6. So you've got 2 extra D6 on what you're rolling here. Oh, and that's very, very good. Wow. That is a success with a complication. So Grimlyn and Vixen, you go around spreading these rumors that Ulf has a terrible disease, more contagious. Don't shake his hand. Yes, my uncle once looked at him and got some horrible burny eye condition the next day. He had conjunctivitis just from looking at him. If you talk to him, your tongue will fall out, that sort of thing. That's not what you've said, but that's the sort of things you start to hear. And that's the complication. The rumors have started. And over the course of about 10 minutes, it's spread like wildfire, but it's exaggerated. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, it's awful. This is not good. I mean, Ulf Ironborn, if he comes within 10 meters of you, oh, your nose will fall off, your elbows will rotate, and your knees will explode. This is nothing like the blood sickness. And in fact, people start to liken Ulf's condition to the horrific blood sickness that's been going around recently. No one wants to be going near him at the moment. So you think you successfully spread a rumor around him. So in theory, no one's going to be going near him. And that is going to have an effect on him. So Jellybean and Barkin Larkin, what would you two like to do? Is there anything you'd like to follow up with?
I'm just lurking around, not in the tavern itself, just on the where the
Your mic's up.
I'm lurking around, not in the tavern itself, but just on the outside of the tavern, and I'm trying to gauge the most likely way he will be drawn to this tavern, where his approach would be, that kind of thing, and if there are any other taverns, or he said there's all sorts of shops and other things around as well, and if I can gauge where I think most likely, if he's coming from this Leviathan ship, where his most likely route in.
Okay. So, I mean, on the Big Leviathan Hunter is the main tavern, the main bar, the Rising Damp. That's the big one. But near where you are, you have this coffee house that you've got, which is the Tipping Ship. And there is just another sort of nearby drinking establishment is the best way you can call it. A couple of barrels with some stools around them, and some bottles and barrels of beer and other miscellaneous spirits behind a table. So if you want him to come to where you are, you give me a roll to let's sort of see what you can figure out.
It's more a case of not necessarily drawing him through, but if he is drawn to this place, which route would he take?
Yeah.
So I can set up some things. What would you like me to roll? I have no idea.
No, it's up to you. You can argue any of your skills.
I'll do study then, as I'm just kind of studying the scene at the moment and trying to work out, which is 2 dice.
Very good. Yeah, so that's with a complication. So the complication will be the starting of a clock. The clock's going to have 4 segments, and it's going to be, I'm going to call it questioned, because you're starting to act a little suspiciously around here. And people acting suspiciously around this place in particular, it's generally not tolerated too much. So yeah, you're going to get questioned. So that's a clock with 4 segments. That's your complication. However, you survey, you study the area. You get a good idea of if someone were to come into this area, certainly from the main Leviathan Hunter, you know which way they'd be coming in. You know the route in. It's quite open, quite straightforward finding that way in there.
Okay, excellent.
Jellybean, is there anything you'd like to do?
I can't. I mean, I'm obviously keeping an eye out for him coming, but I don't want to get involved in asking after him directly because I want it to seem that I'm not related when he does turn up. No, I don't think so.
Okay. So, but you're keeping an eye out at the moment. So here's what you see, and here's what you hear. There's a lot of people around this coffee house that you're in at the moment. People moving past, and then it kind of quietens down a little bit. One of the interactions that happens nearby is a couple of Ulf's men show up, and they kind of pass by each other, nodding to each other, and then they head in different directions. You then notice moments later, emerging from a tent opposite, a very well-dressed man and a very well-dressed woman. These are the sorts of people that you would see where you are from. Very well-dressed. The woman is wearing a very fashionable brown skirt with a white blouse and a brown jacket. She has at the collar a large brooch with a white sort of almost like an ivory brooch. She is wearing a top hat with a brightly coloured feather sticking out of it. Across her eyes, however, is the most curious thing, a black mask like one from a masquerade ball. Standing next to her is her male counterpart, wearing a brown suit with a white shirt and a tie. The colour matches the woman's clothing exactly, and he too is wearing a top hat with a feather on the opposite side and a mask. They look to each other and they nod, and they follow after one of Ulf's men.
Okay. Definitely interesting. I mean, I'd like to follow them, but then I won't be here if he turns up, I suppose. Yeah, I'll follow them. They seem interesting.
Okay, so what skill are you going to use?
Finesse to try and work my way through the crowd.
Very good. Give me a finesse roll, please. The crowd is just all around you. You are young. You do have a sharp knife, but at the moment, you know, even using it here would bring the spirit wardens down. You think it would be dangerous. Yeah. You lose sight of these people almost immediately. It seems that you still see Ulf's man walking away, but these two have just gone, vanished, as if into the air.
I'll go back then, but I will remember what they had for the special features.
Yeah, they stood out quite well. They were very, very well dressed. So, with that being done, with Vixen and Grimlyn having spread rumours about Ulf, the mood starts to change aboard the ship, aboard this number of vessels that have been connected together, and you start to hear rumours saying, "Oh, don't go there. Oh, I've heard he's down there at the moment. Oh, I'd stay away from that main tavern. Oh, sounds like he's gone in there. Oh, he could be over there." What, as kind of you are all back together now, I'm presuming you've all sort of arrived back together. What would you like to do as a group? What's your next step, folks?
So the rumours sound like he's at a different tavern than the one we were at.
There are rumours abound of where he could be at the moment. It's whichever one you want to, if you want to follow up on that, or if you want to go out and try and find him. but the rumors are that there are people now talking about his location to stay away from it. Just murmurs and things, but
Might not help with the turf, but given it's being likened to the plague, then perhaps spreading a rumour the only way to stop the spread is to kill the source and leaving. Let everyone else deal with our dirty work.
No one will want to go near him, though.
Well, no, but if it's being likened to something like the plague, then
Well,
there's going to be people that want to stop the spread.
Okay, I mean, sounds good to me. What we need to do is raise the heat and get everybody here on our side, even if they don't realise they're on our side.
okay.
So, who are we going to lean into?
Maybe can Jellybean, in her young innocence, go around saying that sort of like isn't the only way to get rid of the plague, burn the bodies to get rid of the source.
yeah. I've heard about these plagued people. Gotta burn them.
Burnt is clean. Burnt is indeed clean.
Well, if that's what you're going to do, Jellybean, then please.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
What skill are you going to use to do this?
Sway.
Sway. Okay.
So
Remember, you
persuading
can
people that is indeed the thing that you should do with these people.
push yourself. People can help you.
Yeah.
Or you can take a devil's bargain, or you can do a group action where you all try it, and only one of you needs to succeed, but one of you will take the stress.
Yeah. I've got 3 as a base.
Oh, okay, that's very good.
Depends how much we desperately want this to succeed, or we've got other plans.
Well, I think this one's either succeed or fail. If this doesn't work, then we have to move on to another plan. So
Alright.
I'm happy to help or to maximise chances of group action.
Yeah, I don't mind. Group action's good with me.
I'm not joining in.
Understandable.
Okay. Well, if you wanted to lead a group action, then Jellybean, that
Yeah.
means that you all would roll sway. And if anyone fails, you'll take the stress. If you fail, you don't take any stress. But if Vixen or Grimlyn fail, you will take some stress.
Okay.
But we do take the highest result across all of you. So if that's what you're happy to do, Jellybean,
Yeah.
then I'd like to ask Grimlyn, Jellybean, and Vixen to please roll me your sway. And hopefully this will work.
Right.
Got 1 6, got a fail from Grimlyn, and a fail from Vixen. So you take 2 stress, Jellybean.
All right.
Yeah.
But
So,
Alright.
that's a lot of 3s as
Just
well.
left it.
Cool.
But so
But also part of my sway is that people don't remember when I've swayed them.
very good. Yes. So you're trying to convince people, if I get this correct, that they need to purge Ulf.
He should be purged.
Wow.
The mead plan seems so tame now.
I know. Like this is gonna get big. Jeez.
So you start to see the crowds on Tangletown start to turn slightly. You have people turning up with sticks, and you start to see pitchforks, and you start to see torches. And you then hear a loud roar coming from the large tavern on the old Leviathan Hunter, the rising damp. Yeah. Get away from me!
I guess we found him.
Yes, get away from him. He's diseased.
Oh yeah. I think we'll struggle to offer him a mead at this point, but
You
Oh.
you see that there's a large. You can now see sort of a collection of basically a mob has gathered over, not in the distance, but on top of this Leviathan. As you can see where it is, you can also see that it looks like they are starting to try and funnel him this way. They've got lots of sharp things. You can hear him. No one wants to touch him. That's the problem. No one's going to burn him because no one
So-
wants to get near him. But
What I would like to do at this point is I want him to not understand what is truly going on here.
Yep.
He can see a mob. I'm going to go into my heavy gear and start lifting out some signs that say "Scavs go home," "No scavs," "Scovs," rather.
Leaning
Your
And
racial
try
tension.
and get him to think that this is to do with Scotlanders as opposed to do with
Him.
him having disease.
very good. So yes, tick off. I'm going to actually tick off 2 boxes of load
Yeah,
for the
done.
signs.
Pulls these placards out.
So he's. Can you? I'm not going to make you roll for this.
Well, I kind of did this tinkering a while ago.
Yeah.
That was. I don't know where, because you didn't. I don't need to say what's in my load. I just need to have a heavy load.
No. No, I'm not going to make you roll for putting them out or anything like that. I think this is so brilliant. It's so simple.
And I'm trying to choose people that perhaps are not the brightest, that don't know what they're sort of holding as because I'm not holding it myself. I want.
No. If you're going to get people to hold it, I'd like you to give me a roll to try and get people to hold it, please.
Okay.
So choose a skill. Can be any of them that you think would work.
I'm going to choose a skill that I haven't got any dots in.
Ooh.
Because I
Now,
think I need to persuade some people. I think sway is a sensible one, and I've got no dots in sway.
now remember that people can help. You can take, any of you can take 1 stress that can give Barkin an extra d6. You also can push yourself, Barkin. That would take 2 stress, but I'm aware that you're already fairly stressed.
I think
and-
I'm going to push myself because I like this plan.
Okay, very good. So
I mean, it's going to put me to my limit. I've got 6
Yep.
stress at the moment, but it will put me up 2 stress to 8.
Yep. 9 is the most you can have.
Yeah.
Any more than that, and you go into trauma territory. So, yes.
And I'm trying to hand these signs out not as signs, but as pieces of wood that they can, like, that's what I'm swaying. It's not
Even
like,
better.
here's a placard, here's a piece of 6x4 that you can keep them away from you. It just unfortunately has no scovs written on it.
Very, very good. So you roll your d6. You get an extra. So you go up to 1 because you've pushed yourself, and Jellybean take 1 stress because you said you're going to help him as well.
Yeah, that's fine.
So you go up to 2. You got 2 d6 on this one.
Is that a help as well, Vixen?
If multiple people can help, I'll help.
Yep, multiple people can help. Take a stress, Vixen. You go up to 3 d6. Carve. Never wanted to see 2 6s more. And I know this is going to be good.
Why don't I help too? And then we have a full house.
Brilliant. Take a stress, Grimlyn. Roll an extra d6.
Yeah,
we've already got a 4 and a 5.
I need another one, don't I?
And a 6.
There you go. That was Grimlyn's. That was the last placard.
So yes, you are handing these out, and in fact, I imagine because you're all helping out, you're all kind of handing these out to people. And they're all kind of like, oh yeah, great! I love an extra bit of wood to hit people with. I think he should get out of it because he's got the plague. Let's you make sure he goes out so you can burn him. Yeah, big sticks will get him out. We're not allowing violence, but if you're plagued, you can get out. Yeah, get out, get out, get out, get out! As they're all screaming, get out! With these wonderful signs that say, "Get out, Scovs." and they are whipped into a bit of a frenzy. These lovely people round here, and they may have been partaking of the cup or five, and they're angry, and this mob is coming towards you with Ulf Ironborn. He's walking through and he's like, roaring at people, and they're going back, but they've got these sticks. They're not actually hurting him, but they are kind of, get out of Tangletown, you get out of Tangletown, you murderer. And then he sees the signs. And he screams, this is what it was about. And he runs up to one of the people with a sign and just boom, knocks him straight out. You see him pick up another one and just hold them over the head, and he's like, throws them at the mob.
Get the popcorn out.
At this point,
Mark
this is normally when the narrator would say, at this point, this is when he knew he stuffed up.
He done bad.
And he has done bad. He has done bad, very much so, because it only takes moments before there is a large number of gang members nearby, and they don't seem to be quite as worried about touching him, as he's got another person by the throat, one of the other people from the area, and he's kind of, what did you say? What did you say? And there's a large hand on his shoulder, and he goes, I think you should come with me, sunshine. What did you? And he turns around to hit, and this, what you recognize to be a billhook that is just as tall as he is and just as muscular, says, you know where you are, don't you? You're in Tangletown. And me and these fine gentlemen here are going to take you outside of Tangletown, because you have just broken the rules. How about we have a little chat about this off? Man to man, off the island. Come with me. This was a setup, I tell you. This was a setup. Yes. A nice setup. And Ulf is then led by 5 of these very burly gang members of different gangs, but led by a billhook, led towards the bridge that leads off of Tangletown, leaving the mob going, yeah, take his plague out there. I wouldn't go anywhere near them afterwards.
Well, job done.
Wow.
What?
Almost.
We better get some surf, I guess.
I think what we need to do now is to ensure that he carries on kicking off against these gang members so they put an end to him. I don't think it's fully over yet.
We also may need to convince those he left behind in the pub that it'd be best for them to clear off before anybody came after them as well, through association.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's clearing that out. If possible, I'll try and gather up the evidence of the signs, or at least deface them, so that there is there's no there, as if it was just a figment of his imagination.
I'm going to need a roll for this one, please.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you want me to roll? You can
Nope.
ask me for something to roll.
Yeah, you know how Blaze in the Dark work.
I'm going to use tinkering.
Lovely.
Perhaps. How many items do I get in my heavy load?
Yes, six boxes of
so I've
load.
used 2. So maybe I brought some paint or some gunk that I can just easily splash over them.
Tick off another box,
Yeah.
but please roll me a tinker roll. Please remember, you can push yourself. Well, you can't push yourself,
Well, I can
but you could take a devil's bargain.
No, I'll just roll 2. This is. I don't think it's particularly critical, but it'd be nice to cover our tracks.
Very good. Okay, so I am going to say, so with a 5, you got a complication there. So you're painting over these, and you do quite a good job, but maybe you were spotted taking them away again. Maybe you were spotted painting some of them. You have +1 heat from that.
And of course, I'm saying disgusting words.
But it's not been noticed that you've been with these signs.
Perfect.
So, very good. So yes, he's led off this island, but there's still the question of, well, as you say, making sure whatever happens, happens, and also getting the turf. So, back to you.
I think Vixen is right. I think we should headline it to the pub. Tell the others in the pub that he's going to be done in as he's escorted from Tangletown, and get them to come and save him by charging in and causing even more trouble if they weren't going to do it. How does that sound?
Like a lot of fun.
So is everybody okay with that concept?
Mm.
And then we can have a word with the landlady when they leave that we've freed her.
Okay. So, you hightail it to the pub, the Old Reliable. You got a rough idea of where it is. It is also here in Crowsfoot. It has a picture of an electric, it's a steam engine is out as kind of on the sign. Before they made the lightning rail, there was a lot of steam, but now it's all lightning rail engines. But yes, this steam engine the sign is swinging and creaking in a light breeze. It's dark because it's always dark. It's late, but it's also quiet around here. You notice that there is a sign that someone has put up nearby that has been very hastily painted over. That looks like underneath it does say "Scobs get out." But you reach the tavern. It's a 2-story building, built into almost like a terrace of other buildings, but they're all different shapes and sizes, but they've all just kind of been rammed up against one another. The top level overhangs slightly. It's quite a wide building, and you can see from the heavily sooted out windows, you can see lights glowing from within. As you approach, you get the feeling that maybe Crowsfoot's not the most kind of ghostly and occult of areas. There's the strange noises and wails that you hear can't quite pervasive in this area. What you hear is a lot more industrial sounds, a lot more lived in sounds as well. Lots of rats running around, lots of the sounds of clanking metal. There's various hums of the electric light system, the electroplasm that powers it. So, what would you like to do?
Over to you, social talky types.
That's a quick question before we do the social. The stuff that's been painted out, what's that on? Is that on wood? Is that
It's on wood. A nearby shop's been boarded up. The windows have been boarded up, and someone's painted it on the wood and then painted over it.
Okay.
Perhaps we could try, or one of us could go in. Okay, probably me. Stumble in, slightly drunk, go, "Oh my god, did you hear? Got dragged off by the bill hooks. I knew they had it out for him, but God, they're going to go do him in."
Yeah, I think that'll be like we're not talking to them, but they are gonna hear.
Ooh. Sounds good. So this is what you want to try doing, Vixen.
I'm gonna be crying
You're
because
going to be. Are you going to be
because it was
helping?
scary. It was
Very
so
good.
violent and scary. I don't like it.
If you're going to be helping, Jellybean, you have to take a 1 stress, and you get an extra D6.
If you want that
and
to be
one-
the help, yeah, or not as a separate action, that's fine. I can do that.
So, Vixen, what are you going to roll as you stumble into this pub, appearing that you are drunk?
Guess it's going to be sort of a sway roll.
Okay. Give me sway, please.
And I think I'll push myself as well. 2 stress, and that is 4d6.
Very good. Very good. So here's what happens. The two of you, Vixen and Jellybean, stumble as best you can into this pub, into the Old Reliable. It's a dimly lit affair, has large blackened beams across its low ceiling, upon which have been nailed large numbers of different bits of train mechanism. You see various wheels, cogs, you see pipes and things. You also see a number of brasses and a number of mugs that have been nailed up to various bits of the ceiling too. In the corner is a player piano that is hooked up to the electric system, which as the two of you stumble in and you say, what do you want to say?
So I go, oh, it was so horrible. Glad we got out of there, but what's gonna happen? It was scary.
Can't believe the billhooks did that, dragging him out down like that. Gonna kill him. God, we should.
All
How
those
can they
people
do?
were so angry, and then
Leader of such a respectable gang, and he's just dragged out. It's gonna be. God, someone should help that man.
So here's what happens. The pub has the landlady behind the bar. And there are a number of gentlemen in the pub and ladies that are of various states of inebriation. As you burst in and you say that, the whole pub goes silent and someone kind of nips over and turns off the player piano. And a large man stands up and says, "You too, is what you say true?"
Oh, we don't want any trouble, sir. We just scared. They dragged him out. It was neutral territory. He did nothing wrong.
Dragged him out. Dragged out Ulf.
I don't know, but he was a big man. But then the other man was really big as well. And the first man had punched someone, but they were all like scary people. And then I don't know.
You, with me. He gets 2 of them. We're going to go investigate this immediately. If this is true, we will thank you greatly. And we'll thank you too, young lady. He nods at you. And
Here's a bottle of mead.
he takes a bottle of mead from you. Goes,
I didn't get that. It was just.
thank you, young lady. That'd be good for the road. Is this the bottle of mead that's been drugged?
Yeah. Well, I got bold carrying.
All right, I'm gonna ask you to give me a roll for this. What? Because you're gonna give him a bottle of mead, and he kind of looks at it as you give it to him. His reaction is going to be based on what you roll.
That's a.
Choose a skill.
Like, I don't have an outcome in mind though. Like, you can just go away and drink it.
You do have an outcome. It's called chaos.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah. Okay.
you want him to. I mean, you said you want him to go away and drink it. So how are you going to convince him to go away and drink it?
I'll give it to Ulf. I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do with it.
Well, but you've got to give me a roll.
Okay. Well, there isn't a chaos roll. So
I think you're trying to fast talk him, persuade him, aren't you? So it's be sway again.
yeah,
Mm.
but it's good anyway.
I
And it
would
does
imagine
have the
so.
benefit that he forgets that I've done it.
Oh, oh my word. Two sixes. Very good. So, he takes the bottle from you. He pats you on the head and very blearily stares at you. He goes, "Thank you, young lady. You have done me such a kindness. I will never forget your face." And heads to the door. And so, Barkin and Grimlyn, this is what you see. He staggers out of the pub with his two mates. All right, we've got to go that way towards Tangle Town. We can get there quickly. Quick, pass this round, lads. And he kind of gets out a knife and sticks it in the top and pulls the cork out and takes a big swig and hands it to somebody else, and they take a big swig and hand it to someone else and they take a big swig. How fast acting was this stuff, Grimlyn?
I think I was aiming for something that would work and like start to feel an effect within a few minutes.
Okay, and it's
So
just to
it's
knock
not
them out.
immediate.
Yeah.
No, this is kind of like sort of the raise the heart rate kind of engage that fight or flight kind of response, because we were going to feed it to him and we wanted him to start a fight.
Yeah.
So we wanted him to be really hyper. So that's kind of, raise the cardiovascular rate kind of thing. It was what we were aiming for.
Vodka and Red Bull mixed together,
Yeah.
basically.
Oh, well, I've just rolled a 4. So is a fortune roll for how they're going to react to it. 4 is obviously in favour of you, so that's good. This isn't vodka Red Bull. If it had been a 6, it'd be vodka Red Bull. This is a 4, so you've got Buckfast.
That's even worse.
These, I mean, as you getting them walking away, you see them like, "Hey, yeah, let's go save Wolf. Let's go save Wolf. Let's go save Wolf. I don't want to save Wolf. What did you say? Ah! Ah!" And as you see them walking away, they're sort of both now pushing each other and going, "Ah, saving Wolf. Saving Wolf. What? Don't push me that hard." And you see them start to devolve into a fight as they're going down the road. And one goes, "If I save Wolf, he'll like me more. No, he'll like me more." Quite loudly as they run away. However, you are aware, even after all that, there are still some of them left in the pub.
I think if we can talk out of character quickly for a moment. I mean, how many are we talking left in the pub?
Ooh, so given that they've been using this as their own turf, and given you have done various, well, you could find out through a flashback, get the numbers.
Okay. I'm just thinking if the numbers are in our favour, then it'd be perfect time for Vixen to try out your knockout bolts, and for Grimlyn to do your magic as well, and maybe even Jellybean to cut some people up a bit.
Well,
Form special.
Vixen and Jellybean in the tavern still. There are 2 more, and these ones are here, and they are looking very merry, which is why they didn't get up and go with anyone else. But they're definitely dressed like members of Ironborn's gang. So there's 2 more sort of lounging around here. You can hear the sounds of people moving around upstairs, moving on the floorboards above the heavy oak beams. And you're aware that this tavern, while it has an upstairs, the upstairs is not. It's not a hotel.
Do you think it's a good time to speak to the landlady now to say that we are here to support her in a hostile takeover of of this.
I don't know. There's still some of them here. We don't know what's happened with Ulf yet.
Okay. I'll leave it to the three of you who have much better brains in this than I have.
I don't know.
The landlady's kind of looking at the two of you at the moment. Sorry, Grimlyn.
No, I was going to say, how easy is it to access the stairs to the upstairs? Oh, do I know there's anything upstairs?
Well, you know that there is an upstairs because you can obviously see it from outside. You can see that there are lights coming from upstairs from outside. Jellybean and Vixen, you can see that the stairs, there is just sort of a doorway. It's been roped off with a little sign on the rope saying "Do not enter," but it's been spelt really poorly, so it's just "Do not enter."
Do we think it's plausible we could perhaps motivate them to go out and follow their comrades if they were enticed by like a round of drinks on their successful return for all of the brave men that went out to save him?
Try.
See, that or violence, I think.
Those brave men, they've gone out to help their friends.
I think we need to show the landlady that we're here. We've taken out the real threats, Ulf and his second in charge and some of his other men. It's about as weak as it will be now, and we want her to feel that we're not to be messed with. We want her to go, well, I'm not going to give the tavern to you because you've just walked in here and just made up a load of nonsense about stuff that you've done.
Okay, that's logical.
Well, do you and Grimlyn want to start that off while we're still pretending to be members of the public?
I go into the
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
I go up to the barkeep. Sorry, Grimlyn. You
no, go.
Yeah. Hey.
The lady who you know to be called Retna.
Retna.
Yes.
How you doing?
She looks you up and down and says, I've had better days.
It's going to get a whole lot better for you in a minute.
She looks you up and down again. Really?
Don't worry. We've heard that you've not been sitting too comfortable with Ironborn and his lads. Is that right?
Her eyes dart to the two very, very drunk off Ironboard gang members around in the tavern, the left. And again, the reason they didn't stand up is because they are so pissed. They're just kind of, and she goes,
well, me and my crew are dealing with your problem, but it comes at a cost. But believe me, we are far sweeter to deal with than Ironborn.
There's two of them upstairs.
Right,
Cunning they are. Horrible.
Yeah, don't worry. We got you on this. Look at Grimlyn. I'm assuming you came in with me and heard that conversation.
Yeah.
You're going to work your magic upstairs? You got anything you can knock them out with or whatever? Or these two down here look like they're not going to be any real trouble. They are deep in their cups.
Yeah, no problem. She'll say politely to the landlady, "Mind if I go up?"
No, go on. These two aren't going to be going anywhere anytime soon. They've been drinking since this morning, and I've got these two to serve as well. Although, ladies, I think it's probably for the best that you leave.
It's okay. They're with us.
How? Well, if you get rid of them, I'll give you all. Well, you can all have wine on the house. I've even got a nice children's wine.
So, are we heading up together, Grimlyn, to take one apiece and then coming down to deal with the rest?
Oh,
Lovely. So, how do you want to approach getting up the stairs? You can sort of from the base of the stairs. Again, there's no doorway on the stairs. It's just kind of well, it's a doorway but no door, just a rope. There's wooden stairs that look quite old and creaky, leading up to the second floor, and you can see a single closed door at the top. You suspect there's probably just one large room over the top of this bar, and you can hear the footsteps coming from potentially within that room. So how do the two of you want to handle this?
instinctively, I'd go prowl and get up quietly. We could also pretend that we were sent and bring some alcohol with us.
No harm in grabbing a bottle, trying to prowl our way up, and we can always fall back on it.
Okay. Do you want to grab a bottle from behind the bar? Or one of the many bottles that are already around the place that have been abandoned by the people that you did persuade to go outside, which, to be honest, looking at the two in here, the three that have left were the biggest.
I see no need to put out our lovely new, or potential new ally. Let's get the used bottles.
You don't really have enough from one bottle, but what you can do is tip all the different alcohols into one and have a lovely cocktail called a violent recurrence. So, if you're going to prowl, one of you can make me a prowl roll, please.
Do you want to do that, Vixen?
I don't mind. You suggested it. If you want to lead it, I'm happy for you to do that. If you want me to, I can give it a go.
No, you give it a go.
Okay. Prowl. Okay, that's a single dice. See how we get on.
Good. So, you head up the stairs. You think you're being really, really quiet. You do hear, however, when you get to the top, just that last step creaks. You've been so careful. You hear from inside. What was that? It's probably nothing. Well, let's get back to it then. All right. And they're on edge at the moment. You can hear them talking on edge, but they're not coming outside to think of anything. It's just they're kind of, well, slightly more prepared. But you still think you might get the drop on them because you did succeed.
How's your approach going to be, Grimlyn? I'll be loading up a pistol with a tranq dart. So are you guessing you'll be going for
She's going to have the dirty old rag with the chloroform. Innocently, questioned behind her back, like a totally innocent person entering the room.
Lovely. So what's your intention here?
So I think Grimlyn's intention would be to kind of open the door and make out like the landlady had sent us up because like they felt like they should have some refreshments. They've been working so hard. And then, when close enough, just for her, just basically straight chloroform to the face.
Very good. So, give me a roll that encompasses all of that, please. Please, Grimlyn. Choose one of your skills. And then we'll go to Vixen and the darting.
No, I think she would probably use sway. She's not super good at that, but it fits with the trying to make out like this is a scenario that is not what it is.
Yep. And remember, you can push yourself if you wish to get an extra D6. So that's take 2 stress.
Oh, go on.
Wonderful.
Just keep racking up the stress. That's fine.
That's why Barkin's currently a nervous wreck. Oh no. Oh dear.
The dice do not
Oh.
like me today.
No. So you go in. You go in, and they both of them immediately look up, and you let them know that you've come from the bar, the landlady, and immediately one of them goes, "She ain't got any help. Tie her up." And I think at this point, we'll go to Vixen, as these two are starting to approach Grimlyn very cautiously with knives drawn.
Remember flashbacks as well.
Indeed.
What flashback would help?
Flashback. I wasn't in the pub. I
Always
never
feel
joined the
bad
gang.
for you, Denny. Well, we knew we were coming to the pub potentially. We could have.
Mhm. Yep.
So, guess Vixen's going to be slipping out from behind the door, wanting, before she got into view, letting Grimlyn get closer and try and dart them.
Okay. So you will have time to dart one of them. So give me a roll that encompasses all of that, please.
Control.
A 4 and a 6. Excellent. So in this room, there are these two members of the of Ulf's gang. They are markedly shorter, and they don't look like Skovlanders either. They are, they're not quite as muscular either. They look quite wily though, like quite clever. You can see that they've been looking at a table with loads of pieces of paper on. And they, so one of them approaches, they both approach Grimlyn with their knives drawn, and you manage to get around the door and shoot one of them with a tranq dart, and one of them just goes, "Ow!" Bah! And falls over. But the larger of the two still has a knife, and basically goes to grab Grimlyn and put the knife to your throat, Grimlyn, and says, "If you even think of getting any closer, she's gonna get it." Well, that's the situation you find yourselves in. Downstairs, you think everything's going fine, I assume. Is there anything the two of you would like to do as you're downstairs? You've heard a bit of a commotion upstairs.
I think I'm certainly paying attention to these two to see whether they're going to hear anything or react, or perhaps even trying to distract them by bringing them a couple of cups across and
Very good.
just feeding them more alcohol. But yeah, I'm just kind of running interference, really. I don't know about you, Jellybean. You've probably heard it, so you could be up the stairs if you wanted.
Yeah. I really want to use a flashback because we never do.
Flashback.
But I don't know what.
Yeah.
Something's been tucked away in the pub, perhaps for later use. But I mean, I've got plenty of load anyway. I don't know.
You can have doctored the room that they're in at the moment, loose
Yeah.
floorboards, or don't know.
Yeah. We have time.
You are part of a very powerful, well-connected family.
Yes. I mean, I guess I could have bought the pub, but I'm not sure. No.
I mean, this is thinking very much out of the box. You said these were not
They weren't
Skovlanders.
Yeah.
And you said that they were looking at this, so potentially we could we could hire these two now it's all over, and you could use your sway or use a flashback that this one you've already contacted, and you need to go up and you basically, he's probably hedging his bets maybe at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, we don't really know that they're part of the gang, even. I guess, do we?
And they're wearing the colours. I mean,
Okay, they are in the colours.
for the benefit of Vixen and Vixen and Grimlyn, you can see that these guys are in the gang colours. So
okay,
but they've got no necessary big
No.
ties to the gang. Now the gang is
okay.
done here.
I like what you're thinking. I'll make the flashback that I have prepared some like of my normal clothes and stuff.
okay,
And put it where I can grab it, like in the loos or something.
Yeah.
On the shelf.
Okay, yeah. You've had one of the servants do that. You couldn't come in here.
Yeah. And I've got like some cash in my pockets from that like load or something, and that I'm ready to potentially win over some gang members who might be susceptible to that.
Very good. I'm gonna say take 1 stress from that. I'm going to do another fortune roll for you. No, actually, I'd like you to make a roll to convince one of your servants to put to put an outfit in the pub, and we'll see which outfit they put based on how well you convince them. So you're going to have an outfit. You're definitely going to have an outfit. It's just which outfit you have.
Okay.
So roll something. Doesn't have to be sway. It could be any.
Well, sway is my best
one. Could
one.
be command. So. Could be anything.
Yeah. All of those work, but sway is my best feature. So, and the added thing that they forget about. So
they're a servant. They won't forget about you.
They forget I've asked them to do this particular thing.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's not really consorting anyway because they're not my equal socially. So.
Grimlyn. Oh.
Socially speaking.
I'm not in the room. It's okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, you have a very, very smart dress. It's very pretty. It makes you look definitely like you have money. The complication here, what will the complication be? I'm going to say the complication is that you don't have as much coin as you would have hoped you would have had.
Okay.
You've got half as much. So,
all right.
Jellybean, do you go up the stairs?
So yeah, I've got changed, and I will go up the stairs to see what's happening.
Okay. So, again, that's 1 stress for that flashback. You make so in the room as you've got this knife to your throat and the things happen. Jellybean just comes ram the door, and she's in the room. Jellybean. You see this scene of Grimlyn with a knife to her throat, and Vixen with an empty sleep dart gun.
Drop that knife immediately. And
no.
Well, then no money for you.
Oh wait, what do you mean money?
Well, obviously, if you are the member of a gang that is opposed to us and you are holding a knife to my ally's throat, then I would not be someone inclined to give you gold. But if you were someone who was, say, not part of this gang anymore, who incidentally's leader is about to be beaten to a pulp by the billhooks, and were to perhaps join a more up-and-coming endeavour, then I would be, more favourably inclined.
So, give me a roll for this, please. And whilst that's going on, I'd like Grimlyn, what are you doing as he's got this knife to your throat?
I'm probably going to be very subtly trying to get hold of one of my tools that has a sharp point on it.
Very good.
Like a specially prepared screwdriver.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna, depending. I'll pause now that Jellybean is here. But if this doesn't resolve quickly, I will use it appropriately.
Lovely. We'll hold on that then, dependent on how well Jellybean rolls. I love it.
Yep, so I'll just keep swaying because that's what I do.
Yep.
Ooh, triple 4. That's complication, isn't it?
Yes, it's a success with a complication. Now, you are in a risky situation here. You're not in a controlled position.
Jingle.
But yeah, so with a 4, he keeps the knife there, but he says, "How much you got?"
Well, on me right now, and I look through, I don't know, however much coin it was. I'm not going to give him all of it.
You asked for probably about 4 coin, let's say. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You've only got 1.
Okay.
And
Well, on me right now, 1 coin, which I think would be moderate perhaps for the situation. But of course, I have, and my family have a great deal more coin for future.
Give me that coin and you'll never see me again.
Well, it might be better if we did see you again. We are on the lookout for enterprising help, but I'll flick him the coin.
He grabs it with his free hand and puts it in his pocket and says, "Right, I'm gonna let go now." And he sort of takes his knife away and keeps it out in front of him. I'm going to allow you for free, Grimlyn, to have gotten your screwdriver.
Okay.
Is there anything you want to do with it?
I'm going to look at Jellybean because obviously Jellybean's in front of me. I'm trying to get a sense from her from how much she thinks this guy is actually going to keep his word, or how much we're just going to, when he says, "You like, I won't see you again," or whatever, literally because I'm going to stab him with the screwdriver.
I mean, it sounds like it's worked and you don't need to stab him with the screwdriver, but if you feel the need, you're the one under threat.
He is poor, Jellybean.
Well, he is poor, but we like Larkin said, we need allies, and he might come around later for more gold. So he's big and probably useful.
Okay.
So
What I'm going to do is I'll step away. I'm still going to have the screwdriver, try and keep it mostly hidden. I want to see what it is that they're doing on the table, because actually what they're doing on the table is potentially interesting to us and will determine somewhat of the value that he has in terms of coming over to us.
Okay. I'm gonna need a roll for you to quickly get a look at the table without making it too obvious.
Okay. I will use Prowl then to get
Very
over
good.
there. I say that, but the dice don't like me today, so we'll see.
He notices you doing it immediately. He goes, "Oi. You won't find anything good on there. All the good stuff is with them downstairs. The big one, Gavid. Oh, sorry, Havid. Havid's his name.
I think he's one of the ones that's left already.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not downstairs anymore.
Oh, well, he had all the plans. All those are
Well,
plans on little places here
we
and
can
there.
go rob him in a bit because he's probably passed out on the street.
Well, he's a tricky one.
He might not
Sorry.
have taken them with him if you
Well,
got him
we can
out.
check downstairs first.
He kind of starts moving towards the exit. Is there anything you want to do, Vixen? I mean, you're kind of nearer to the exit with Jellybean. He's kind of moving towards with his knife, like backing away, going, I've got my coin. I'll leave. Not going anywhere. Well, I will be if you let me leave.
I will carefully put my pistol away for now. Let out a little whistle with the intent of alerting my pet for possible later use.
Very good.
And perhaps ask him if you could stay for a moment. We still need to deal with a couple of your compatriots downstairs. No harm will become of you. We just need a moment.
He puts the coin in his pocket and goes, again, he goes, all right. He keeps the knife out and he kind of backs up towards the corner of the room. His eyes darting between the exit and the window, thinking, I've gone the wrong way here. So, whilst that's going on, Larkin, downstairs. The two down you've given them more cups of ale. They are completely sozzled at the moment. They're just like, and more of it's coming out of their mouth and down their front.
Just lit up a little butt end and just smoking. I'm not particularly engaging them in conversation. I'm
No.
doing my usual thing, but just keeping an eye on them, really.
Okay. The lady behind the bar says, "Are you one of Sark's friends?"
Yeah.
I thought so. I'm glad that he sent you here. They've been awful. These old Ironborn men. Absolutely awful. They're terrifying. But you gotta be careful with this place. There's, well, I don't know if it's this place or I don't know if it's them. There's these people, you see. They came in the other week. Very well dressed they was. Masks. Top hats. Kept asking after someone. What was his name? Lars. That was it. Lars. Kept asking after Lars. And then they wouldn't leave. They didn't drink. They gave me the creeps, they did. Spoke almost in unison.
Did they say how to get information to them? Leave any contact?
Yeah. They said it was at the Dawn Guard Social Club.
Look, right now, the good news is your troubles are our troubles now. Huh?
Oh.
So don't you worry yourself.
I'm begging your pardon, sir. I hope this isn't one of those "the king is dead, long live the king" moments.
I don't understand.
It's only that these buggers tried to drink me dry and didn't pay for it. And if,
don't
begging
worry.
your pardon, if you want a drink, I don't mind the odd one or two, but I mean, come on, I got to make money somehow.
Yeah, you don't make a lot of money. You're going to do well.
Oh, good.
You're part of the pack now.
The pack?
Yeah.
Like wolves?
Well,
like Russell.
Oh, I like dogs too.
Dogs
very good.
Yeah.
Very good. would you like a drink?
Yeah. I'll pay as well.
Oh, thank you. What do you want to do with these two? Because I've got a cellar we can put them in.
Well, I mean, they're okay at the moment, aren't they?
Well, that one's currently pissing himself, and that one... Oh, I think he's asleep. I hope he's asleep. Is he breathing? I don't want the spirit wardens round here again.
No bell's gone yet. He'll be fine.
Oh, all right.
They'll pass out in a minute, and we don't want to put them in the cellar, do we? Because it's our cellar now.
Oh, I guess it will be when you dealt with them upstairs. Yeah.
They're probably dealt with already. I've got every faith in the crew in my pack to do the very. We'll all bark in the end. How about that? All together in unison.
And as you say that, we cut immediately back upstairs to the tense standoff between the three of you and the man. So, what are you all waiting for?
To glance at the others, start turning towards the door, reloading, preparing to go downstairs, or to turn around and shoot him, depending on what the others look like.
He's just like, I've got my coin. I want to go. Can I go? I don't care about him.
You don't know where you're well off, are you?
Look,
There's lots more where that came from.
what you?
No, he clearly doesn't like money.
Oh no, I like money.
You
No, I
just-
like money.
No. You. It's fine. I accept your answer. You can go.
No, I do like. I just look. It's a
It's
child.
a real shame.
There's a child
real
throwing
shame.
coins around. There's a lady with darts that make people fall asleep, and then what is you? And I don't know what you do.
Trying to
but
have a sensible conversation with you.
There's
You're
barking
not
from
really-
downstairs now as well.
Okay.
It's fine. You can look us up later if you change your mind.
look, are you some kind of new gang or something?
Well done.
Yes.
What's your name?
Okay, I love it, 'cause, like,
In a flashback.
Auntie Helen's crew. What are people actually calling us anything?
We go something like shadows at one point.
You've
Yeah, we
called
definitely
yourselves the
do that.
Nameless. You've called yourselves the Shadows. You have called yourselves Auntie Helen's crew. It's whatever you want to call yourself, really. I mean, if you want to say Auntie Helen's crew, that's an answer he might accept. He looks at you and goes, "You ain't even got a name, have you?"
We do.
The Eclectic Four.
Yeah, take that.
I don't think it's going to catch on.
Look, you can find us here probably from now on, but we have various bases and we take on various jobs, and we could use muscle.
Well,
Reliable muscle.
He says, putting his knife away. Well, I'm more than muscle. I mean, I'm a strategist. You know, I'm a grand planner. I've got ideas of grand. And then he stops himself. I'm a worker that can do exactly what you want.
Oh no!
You
no,
give me
no.
money and want things to do, and I'll do them.
No, it's very useful to know if someone has skills, particularly above and beyond pure muscle. There is a lack of that.
Look,
I'd love to see what kind of a job you'd plan. Maybe you could plan a job and then we could see how it pans out in reality. What would
Well,
that be?
We'll invite you to tender, and then when we next get our next request, you can put in a suggestion.
He says, Yeah, what? Yeah, what? And he goes back to the table and he sort of riffles through some of the papers. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Then you'll see. Then you'll see how good I am.
Excellent.
Won't be calling me hapless
Good.
Jonas forever, will they?
Is your
Sure.
colleague equally skilled or attached to you?
Oh, no. I mean, well, he's an idiot. I wouldn't hire him.
Well, you seem like an excellent employee. Let's take your advice.
Yeah, I mean, he got shot with the trank dart. I didn't, did I? I use
Indeed, on a
this.
purely probability basis, you are the better person.
But you definitely got more coin. I mean, you're dressed well, young miss, but you definitely got more coin.
Certainly.
All right. Yeah. All right. Right. I will prove that I am worthy of your gang. Whatever it's called. It's got to be better than this lot. They're bloody awful.
Well, there's not much of them left, so don't worry about that.
Oh, thank goodness. Because they make us wear these horrible furs and they just smell. I mean, I swear this one, I think it's still alive. It's bloody awful. Well, can I go? Well, I've done my job. He tells his paper. When I got the job, I'll show you how good I am, and maybe you let me join for money. Because I do things for money, you know, and I'll do anything. Horrible jobs too, you know.
We try not to take advantage of our workforce. It's very much worker focused.
Jellybean looks like.
Well, it's a recruitment speech. Yes,
All
okay.
right.
Go.
I got this. I got this. I got this. I got this. And he starts waving this paper. He's like, yes, I'm going to prove I'm going to be a main man. Main man. Here at the ground floor in a brand new gang. Here at the ground floor, he says as he's walking down the stairs.
Is he saying all of that as he comes?
He
down
is.
the stairs?
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, get in there. Get in. And he sort of moves into the main floor of the pub. What are you doing, Barkin? You're barking, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm barking at the moment, yeah. And when I hear him come down the stairs and it's fairly obvious he's been recruited, I say, well done. Your first job is to pay the lady for all the drinks you've had.
Oh,
The landlady says, that'll be 1 coin.
Yeah, there we go.
He gets the coin out of his pocket and hands it over to her.
Good lad. But just take this as, you know, she's got what's due. You're going to get what's due to you as well. This is how we work.
Yeah.
And then I bark at him.
Oh no.
the sides
Oh,
of our
blimey.
gang.
We're all
Thank
a pack.
you. All right. Thank you. No, thank you, sir. And he holds out his hand to shake your hand.
Yeah, I'll shake his hand.
He takes his hand back afterwards and just looks at it.
Yeah, sorry, he's pissed himself. I might have,
It's all right. I've still got my piece of paper, and I got it on it.
It's okay, it's only natural.
And he starts walking out, sort of the paper, and is so. You're left with a sleeping body and 2 knocked out people downstairs. So, what would you like to do? You have knocked out people left. You've successfully managed to. Yeah.
The 2 downstairs are definitely what's the names?
They're Scovlanders.
Yeah.
They are definitely Scovlands.
I say we deliver these to the Billhooks. The one upstairs, I think we give him an ultimatum as well, to see whether he wants to join. We need to recruit. We need to get more people. If he's as useless as his friend said, then he's not going to be any trouble to us. We can always train him up.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Again, only suggestions if you've got any other ideas. But we've got 3 bodies and we need to do something with them.
Yeah. Well, and if we find the other guys, then apparently the big one has some plans on him.
Did we see him take anything with him? Did he have like a satchel or a bag that something might have been in?
He did have a bag with him.
Yeah.
So there could have been stuff in the bag.
Okay. I say to Retna, did the 2 leaders have their own rooms, or did they all just use the upstairs?
Oh, no. They used the upstairs when they were here, but this isn't their HQ. This was just one of their
turf.
Some of their turf. They're actually based out of Coleridge. They were trying to make their way into Crowsfoot.
Ah, I see.
They were using this as a staging ground to start doing things here. Yes. So it's kind of over to you, really, and you said you want to wake up the guy on the ground. And when he does come round, you hear that his name is Porrick, Porrick, Porrick. So you've got Hapless Jonas and Porrick. Porrick wakes up and is like, "Ow, go, I guess you all won then."
Astute.
Oh well, it's a fair cop. Don't think anyone's going to pay for me though, ransom wise. I'm not really worth very much, but
Do you have any skills?
Yes, I am excellent at breaking into houses and breaking out of prison cells.
That is something we can do with sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it does help not to be in a prison cell in the first place, but when I am in one, if I've got the right equipment, I can break out.
Perhaps you'd be interested in working off your debt then, rather than being any alternatives.
He thinks for a few moments and goes, "This debt is to you, isn't it?"
To the ones that spare your life.
Yeah.
Get you out of that nasty gang.
Yeah. Didn't really like him, but well, I mean, it was the best prospect around here, really.
Not anymore.
Excuse me.
Well, I mean, if you're the new going concern, I'll be delighted to join you. Oh no, sorry, I should have said this first. Do you pay?
We pay for successful work done.
Well then, just tell me about the houses you want to break into and the prison cells you want to break out of. Although you may want to give me advance notice of the prison cell one, because again, I've got to get some preparation work done. But breaking into houses, that's what I do.
As you note, one often doesn't know when one's going to be in a prison cell, so maybe you need to think about having some things on you. Generally.
Well, it's funny you should say that, young lady. I remember, and he goes into starts to launch into a story about.
That's not necessary.
No. So is this your gang hideout then?
No.
It will do.
Because, I mean, if you're going to be better than that lot, well, only I got some mates that might be interested in meeting you.
Well, excellent.
I know a few people round here in Crowsfoot, and they don't really have much love for my. Well, and he takes the sort of the fur vest off. Don't really have. Oh bloody hell, it's cold. He's topless now. Don't really have a lot of love for old Fireball's gang.
Well, if you think they will be useful, then they can come along, and when we have a job, we can see if there is a place.
Well, we're going to need people here all of the time to maintain this as our turf. Hang around, make sure that things are going, make sure the business is doing well. And Retna here will be running her business properly and making some coin, and you'll get a share of that as you'll be doing protection work. We've got some specialist jobs for you, and then we'll put you on a job and you can earn some extra. What we need at the moment is loyal bodies that are going to ensure there's no repercussions or any other rival gangs of Crowsfoot that decide to try and make a move on this place.
Well, I mean, at this point, you realise he still has the trank dart in him. He kind of pulls it out and goes, "Well, you didn't kill me, so you haven't threatened to kill me, so you're already better than that lot. So I'm in." And so, you have so far successfully managed to take hold of the Old Reliable pub as a bit of your turf. Is there any kind of other wrap-up things you want to do? You can deliver those two off to the bill hooks if you want. You can do it either anonymously, just kind of because you've got a cart, so you can either cart them over there and just kind of dump them outside the bill hook, one of the known bill hooks kind of areas, or you can give them off with a message of this is for you, lots of love, whatever you want your gang to be called. The nameless.
I mean, the other thing is we could deliver them on the back to their turf, couldn't we? Just as a it's up to you. Where would you rather?
Feeling generous. I guess the Scovelanders are more likely to remain hostile to us.
Well, they don't know. Well, they don't know it was us that set them up, but they know we've taken over their
If they
place
come here,
now.
they will.
So I say we give it back to their gang.
Okay.
So is everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Grimlyn, you've got
Bill Hookham.
I mean,
I think I was just kind of thinking that we need. I think it'd be useful to have a vehicle at some point, whatever that is, whether it's to do with these guys or whether it's something else, to kind of point out to the bill hooks that that yes, that we've helped them deal with stuff, but the pub is ours.
Well, the pub's ours anyway.
What about?
Yeah.
Can Jellybean see if she can borrow that strange goat we delivered to the people the other day?
I mean, there is the other thing that Hapless Jonas said about ransoming. We could attempt to ransom them back, although these two look like the worst of the worst, and they might not want to do it. But we could attempt to.
Who are we going to ransom them to? That's the question.
Back to the Scovelanders. We've got two of your crew. Do you want them back?
Right. You mean as the gang, or as
I mean, we ransom them back to their gang.
Well, hopefully that gang is in disarray, having lost its head and lieutenants.
Yeah.
Plus, that will very much paint a target on our back. I'm in favour of just giving them over to the bill hooks.
Okay.
So, bill hooks?
It looks that way. Yeah.
I think so.
I would do bill hooks.
Dropped off at the bill hooks. So, do you want it to be known it was you that did it?
Love
This
ruffles.
this will, if you let her know it's you that's done this, you will then be going up in the estimations of the billhooks.
Yeah, I think that would be good to position
Yeah.
ourselves. Like, we've had influence here and we've done a thing that you probably like.
Very good. Yes, very good. So, then they get dropped off at the billhooks, and you yeah, for this job and for dropping off at the billhooks, as you all make it back to the theatre. After another job well done, Retna is definitely in your. You are in her good graces, and she's in your debt. You make 4 coin for this job for the gang. That's a combination of what the billhooks have paid you for those 2, as well as coin you've picked up along the way. However, now we have to unfortunately go to entanglements. So, was this because Duskval is, as it says here, a city of prying eyes and informants, both living and ghostly. Anything you do might be witnessed, and probably has been, as you have already picked up 2 heat along the way, meaning as a group you have 3 heat. Was this smooth and quiet, low exposure, contained, standard exposure, loud and chaotic, high exposure, or wild, devastating exposure? Now, I would argue that it's either standard or high, given the nature of what's happened. But I think you've been quite good at being covert and convincing people this time. So I think standard exposure. So that takes you up to 5 heat, which still means you're on quite a low wanted level. So now I get to roll against the entanglements list. So let's have a look. So with 5 heat, I will roll the d6 and see what's going to happen here. So that's a 3. So gang trouble or questioning is what happens. Well, there is indeed gang trouble. As it's maybe sort of 3-4 days after you've gained your new turf, you get a message via Sark, or probably because you would probably regularly go by the tavern, the Old Reliable. You get a message when you go in there, passed over to you from Retna, and she says, "I'm awfully sorry, but this young lady came and dropped this off. It's for you, all of you." And she hands you an envelope with again, it's written on the front just saying the nameless, but again it's written in kind of a shaky hand, and the A is backwards, and the one of the E's is and one of the S's are backwards as well, and it's kind of all over the place in lowercase script. And when you open it up, it just says, "The lost boys and girls are watching." I think that's a very, very good place to wrap up, because you've succeeded. Once again, you have succeeded. Very, very, very well done. What a smooth operation. No blood was shed on your side. But there has been blood shed, potentially. I mean, you don't know if Ulf is dead. You don't know if he's
Not even by
alive.
us.
That will be something you'll find out in the future. However, right now, I just want to say thank you, everybody, for playing. I really, really hope you enjoyed playing that. I hope, if you're watching this, I hope you really enjoyed watching it. Or at least I hope you enjoyed watching it. as I have enjoyed running it. I'm going to hand back over to Andy now. So over to you, Andy.
Yep, thank you. I certainly had a blast once again. I want to thank you, Kristian, for running it, and thank you to everybody else for playing, and thank you for watching. I always kind of like to do a quick sort of favourite bits, things that jumped out for you. Start off with you, Sarah. Any bits that were memorable to you tonight?
I loved the placards. Honestly, that was fantastic. And I really loved how, as you often say, the dice tell a story, and how much we had to adapt kind of on the fly to kind of deal with that. And I thought that was really great. We came out with a plan, and we really had to kind of roll with it to get there, and we did, and it was great.
Nah, it's one of the great strengths of this game is the dice, and it's like you don't necessarily have to do your best stat all the time. Sometimes it's fun to sort of go for your worst stat and actually see what the repercussions are with it. Same question to you, Kyle.
Let's see. Well, first of all, thank you, Kristian. I think just the amount of plans we cycled through. We get through about 6 or 8 that we just constantly had to evolve and change.
Yeah, and you got to use your tranquilizer dart at last. It's
Yes.
been a few sessions coming there, and it works nicely. Love it. Rachel, same question to you.
Yeah, like same as everyone really. I think it was funny how we had the plan to like drug the guy, and then it turned into like mob justice against some guy. But it worked out in the end to get him baited as we'd expected, and I like how we dealt with the pub, and that we've potentially got some new help.
It's really nice. It does feel like our sort of turf is growing, our gang is growing, and we're getting some potential allies or contacts, but we're certainly getting some enemies as well. So it's very good. And two mysterious individuals, well
Yeah,
dressed,
well, yes, we've
looking
got
for Lars, which is
mystery there.
creeping me out no end already. Um, um, I suppose same question to you, Kristian. I mean, I'm guessing you didn't have huge amounts of plans. It didn't necessarily go the way you planned. It was just, but any bits that stood out for you?
Well, it went nowhere near anything I had planned. Really, I have two standout moments. One is the image in my mind of Vixen going into a pub with Jellybean and convincing the gentleman to leave. I think that was brilliant. And the other one is, again, sorry to pick on you again, but the payoff of doing getting the tranquilizer darts ready, and then actually using them, and the roll succeeding. It makes my heart happy when players succeed. I'm also happy when you fail as well, but I'm very happy when you succeed. So that made me really happy. I've really enjoyed tonight. As I said, it definitely didn't go where I thought it would go, because I had something very different in mind when you were going to take the turf one. But that's all the fun of Blades in the Dark, really, and the joy of running a game.
Yeah,
How about you, Andy?
I loved it. I love we got to use some of the locations. Certainly Tanglefoot is just a really nice visual location in Duskfall. The idea of just this, say, Leviathan hunter ship sort of sank, and then all of these boats kind of attached to it. I think it's very, very sort of strong. So yeah, it was. I just enjoyed all of it. Really, it's always a pleasure to play and be involved in this, and it's just nice to see a different kind of progression. In some games, you personally progress and you obviously get sort of go up levels, but in this game you feel that you as a group with your organization is slowly but surely getting better and stronger as well, and that's a pleasure to watch and see develop. I really of a fan of that. So yeah, absolutely enjoyed it. Can't wait to the next one. I always say that. We will talk, Kristian. We will talk. What I can't wait to see, because you very cleverly, anybody who hasn't realised this at the moment, if you look at all the episodes, they are numbered 1 to episode 9 at the moment. But I can't wait for us to get to episode 69, for instance, and see what you call that. It was just an odd number that I randomly picked out of the ether there. It could have easily been any other number. So yeah, so enjoying the titles, enjoying the game and the system and everything else. But if you have enjoyed, if you made it to this point and you're still watching, please give us a like and a subscribe. It really helps out. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for playing and running, Kristian. We will talk about the next episode very, very soon. So I think it's just time to say good night to everybody now. Bye bye all. Thank you very much. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.